Agent P, we suspect that Doofenshmirtz is back to his evil ways.
Well, I am Grant Hermans from Screen Rant. I'm so excited to be chatting with Dan Povenmire and Swampy Marsh for Phineas and Ferb Season 5. How you doing today, gentlemen?
We're doing great.
Pretty good.
Well, I grew up with this show, so this show, it means a lot to be talking with you all for it. And I'd love to hear, first and foremost, I mean, we know that Candace Saves the Universe sort of filled in a little bit of that gap, but how does it feel to really be bringing this show back proper after 10 years of waiting?
Oh, it's drudgery. It's like working in a factory.
It's like working in a coal mine, going down. No, we are having just the best time we've ever had. It's one of my writers put it well. She said she had gone to another gig, which was a very high paying gig she had taken at another studio, and she'd been there the whole time, and then she. As the industry contractor, she was one of the people who was let go. And I was like, can you hold on till we do more Phineas? Because we're going to be doing more Phineas, but it's not starting for like 6 months. And she said, I will not even look for work if I know that's happening. And then after like a few months back at Phineas, she goes, the entire time I was at that other studio, I can't remember laughing until I cried. And it happens almost every single day we're at Phineas and Ferb, and I just want to thank you for that. And we're just having the best time. The writers' room is just so much fun, and everybody's like on the top of their game, and just everybody's personalities and sense of humor all sort of like fill in the puzzle pieces of everybody else's, and I think it's some of the best stuff we've ever done.
I love hearing that. And I mean, from what I've seen of just the first 2 episodes so far, there's some really exciting stuff in store for longtime fans of the show. First and foremost, I'd love to talk about Doofenshmirtz's return to evil, because, I mean, that was, obviously this is not a show that's pushing character development in the way of HBO prestige shows. But at the same time, there was sort of a very moving, moving on from that.
Well, he did, give up evil, and then he found out in Milo Murphy's Law that he's like a character in the future that is a hero in the future. But in the meantime, he sort of was like, it's just not working for me right now. I think I'm going to go back to evil and try to give this one more try. Is how we've described it to people. He's like, I'm going to try this evil thing. I'm going to give it a little more chances of working. And I just think he works better as the guy who's trying to get attention through evil schemes. He's not really doing anything bad. He's just, he just wants attention. He wants to better himself, and that's how he's trying to get to it.
But the journey reminded me of my son when he was growing up, first learning to read. And at a certain point, it was frustrating him. And he turned to us very confidently one day and said, you know what? I'm just going to wait until I can read chapter books. It doesn't really work. Okay, sure. That's but it's Doof who thought, I got this whole, but right now I'm just going to wait.
So how do you think that's going to impact his and Vanessa's relationship then? I know we get a brief glimpse of her, but I mean, she was kind of the one who also helped him come to the realization it was maybe time to move on from that.
We have like one line from Vanessa where she just walks in and she sees him doing something. She's like, oh, we're doing evil again. Okay. That's about all the conversation we get of it, because she's just always rolling her eyes at everything he does anyway. So, but they still have a good relationship. He's always trying to be a good dad to Vanessa. So,
and I think he succeeds.
Yeah, I think so.
His life is kind of a mess, but his dad thing, he seems to have his priorities in the right place there.
Yes.
I couldn't agree more, and that's why he's still lovable even in spite of his outrageousness. Yeah. Now, I know we can't get into spoilers, but another cool thing to come from the first episode is Linda getting wrapped up in the action in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. And I know she's always just on the outskirts when it comes to these shows, but I'm curious, this feels like such a nice change in that formula. Is that going to continue going into the rest of this season and next?
We're playing with a lot of breaks in the formula in this, because that's the good thing about a formula, and now you got people expecting one thing, and if you subvert those expectations, you get humor out of just that. So we're going to a lot of places people are not going to necessarily see coming. and I can't wait for people to see it.
Well, one thing that I've always loved about this show that's always kept me guessing is the guest stars, because it's crazy the wide range of people you get. And having loved Beverly Hills Cop, I mean, I Jonathan Banks' voice just immediately clicks in my head every time. So kind of a two-part question for you. What was it like approaching him for his role in this show? And can you give me a tease of maybe who else we might get to hear pop up in this season?
I'm not sure who we can tease, but we have a lot of voices that we were like really shocked we were able to get, which was nice. The thing I told Jonathan when he came in was, I like, as much as I love Breaking Bad and all that sort of stuff, I always remember him having been thrown through the buffet in Beverly Hills Cop, like standing there with all that food and stuff on his face, and he told us about shooting that scene, which was really fun. Like that, like every time I see him, I think of that guy and that just expression and how funny it was without trying to be a gag. It was just like his reaction was just very real and just very like.
I remember him from Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh yeah,
where he played the hospital employee, where John Lithgow. We've been watching him and loving him for years, so that was really an honor to have him come in. And it's always fun for people that you know in a completely different way to come in and play around with us in animation. We've had so many people who've said yes to us, and sometimes it's been solely for the fact that I remember one of my friends that our kids went to school together, and he came and did a voice, and he said, "This is the only thing I've done that I can show my children, because I usually play these really horrific, awful characters, killers and whatnot." He says, "I'm just so happy to come in and play and do silly things." Or I remember when Malcolm McDowell, who played Grandpa for us, said he wanted to sing a song. And I thought, it's the last thing you think of for Malcolm McDowell, and he just had the best time. So it's fun getting people to come in and do something a little bit unexpected.
What was the song we did for Malcolm?
It was the one where they were doing the airplane.
Oh yes. Yeah. That was excellent.
And he loved it. And every time I see him, he said, "I'm still so grateful you let me do a song."
Isn't it great? It's like old times.